All right. So, good morning. For those of you that don't know me, my name is James Airsman. I'm the police chief here in Ocean Pines. I have been in Ocean Pines for over 32 years as a police officer. Worked my way up through the ranks. Came here actually as a dispatcher, just to start into the job field, and went through the academy and worked my way up through the different chains of road patrol into criminal investigation, into forensics investigation. We've grown over the years. I believe we were like a six-man police department when I first joined the department with the agency, and it has grown up. We are between 23 and 24, mostly full-time personnel as of right now. So I'm new here as far as a police chief. I just became chief here in August the 1st of this year, with the retirement of Chief Massey. Like I say, our department has grown tremendously over the years to become self-sufficient. Most of our officers are from the local area. Some of them have come from afar and migrated toward Ocean City for summer jobs and things like that, and became residents here and was given the opportunity. Our police department has a chief, two lieutenants, a road sergeant, a criminal investigative sergeant, two detectives, and three shifts of road patrol. All sorts of calls for service. We are a full service department. We handle our own criminal investigation. We have a detective on the countywide narcotics task force, major crimes unit. We have 24 hours round the clock on call for 911 through 911 services. Normally our calls for service are general 911 calls that come from the public. Some of our calls are generated from the officers themselves or for ongoing complaints in the community. We handle everything from barking dog complaints to traffic complaints to crimes against property and crimes against people. One of our advantages for this year is we have been waiting for several years. The police department itself, the building, the facility that we worked out of, was built when it was a six-man police department. We are now, like I said, we're about 24 on staff, 24 hours a day. That was basically still working out of the same facility. So over the last 3 to 4 years, the project of building a new facility and moving in came about through the community. So we just moved into our new facility that is almost triple the size of what it was. I believe we went from about 1,700 square feet to 5,300 square feet. So it's actually designed as a public safety police building, which we've never had before in all the time that I was here. So being in the new facility is great. However, moving into the new facility was not so great. The transfer of new operations and new places, of having to move into the new building at the same time of taking the new position as chief, all within a month, was a little confusing, but it has leveled out to, we like to consider it organized chaos. Things are operating. Our facility now helps not only our community within Ocean Pines, but outside agencies that would come and use our facilities for joint operations that we do together. We always had to go to their facility because we didn't have room. Now we have room for that. If state police need assistance or if the sheriff's department needs assistance, they can operate directly out of our facility also. It's a joint operation. We all have the same databases, the same operating systems, so a deputy can come in off the road. We have a great relationship with the sheriff and his people. The deputy has something on this end of the county, they can come in, log in to their own data system, process, do whatever they have to do without having to go all the way to Snow Hill and then all the way back to Ocean City and then all the way back to Snow Hill again. So it's not only useful for our agency and our personnel, but for the other personnel in the county. So the operation of the facility itself is state-of-the-art: computers, video, audio, surveillance cameras. Our IT people, Steve and Howard, have gone above and beyond for what was considered needed It's like moving into a new house. You don't really know what doesn't work until you're in there and you flip a switch and that one's not working. So who do I call? It's been some polish work, but we're up and operating, and it's a fantastic facility as of now and should last for many, many years. Like I said, we are a full service police agency. We dispatch. We have 24 hours round the clock coverage for the community. We get a lot of support from the community. We constantly get letters, thank yous, especially from kids that we've had contact with different programs. I actually have a program. I have a motorcycle crew that's coming in on Friday that distributes stuffed animals and stuff so we can give away. Like if there's a child in a car from an automobile accident, or if we get called to somebody's house for a disturbance and there's children there or something, that the officers can kind of bond with the children. Operations like that come from all kinds of organizations, the Kiwanis Club, the Ladies Craft Shop. They give us donations to purchase things that we just can't budget for. Helmets at the skateboard park. People come in and want to go to the skateboard park. There's rules and regulations for insurance purposes that say they must wear a helmet at all times. They show up there, they don't have one. They can come up to the police department in the lobby, and we have a large basket of helmets, brand new, still wrapped in plastic, certified safety helmets for biking and for skateboarding. All that stuff is donated or bought through the police agency through donations from the organizations here in the community. The restaurants and things here in the community, if I have guys that are being held over for bad weather, for snowstorms or hurricanes or something like that, where we just have to hold people in for days at a time. Basically, if a snowstorm or something was to occur here in the Pines, once my guys are called in, they're probably not going to get to go home until that's over. So between the partnership with the fire department to use facilities and the restaurants and stuff here that bring us pizzas and dinners and things like that for the guys that are here 24/7. So we have a lot of support from the community. A lot of people don't realize that the police department's here until they need something, and then they call 911 and here come the police. And they could have lived here 5 years. They don't even know that we're here. So we try to do as many outreach programs and stuff as we can do, because we want it known that we're not just coming to calls for bad guys. We're coming to calls for help. We're coming to calls for assistance. We're coming to volunteer our services to be a part of the community. Our guys aren't just police officers here. Many of them live here, so they want to be in the community. They want to be part of the community. So that's a big advantage that we have that a lot of police agencies don't have. We are aware of the activities that occur here. The movie in the park night, the music concerts that are in the park, the big truck rallies at the Southgate Memorial Park. We always try to have officers present there, whether they're working or not working. Some of them, like I say, they just live here and want to be a part of those events in the community. So that's an advantage that we have that a lot of larger agencies just don't have. We have that personal contact. A lot of residents in Ocean Pines come from outside areas, away from the Eastern Shore. Ocean Pines is a very unique community as far as law enforcement, because the law enforcement officers here enforce Maryland state law in Ocean Pines. We are a certified police agency within the state of Maryland. All of our police officers attend the same police academy, the same full-time certification. They have to have continuous re-education, mandatory in service. So our officers are actually governed by the Maryland Training Commission, which is the same as every police agency: Salisbury, Ocean City, Sheriff's Department, State Police. They all have the same education. They all have the same level of responsibility, which is unique in Ocean Pines, because with Ocean Pines being a homeowners association and not being a municipality, we do not enforce, as a police agency, we do not enforce homeowners association restriction of covenants violations. Those are civil actions that are handled by the board of directors and the community at board of directors meetings and local community meetings. We have an issue with like Ocean Parkway. A lot of people believe that the side of the road on Ocean Parkway is a pedestrian lane. A lot of them think it's a bike lane. It's not. It's an extended shoulder. To actually be a bike lane, it would have to be marked as a certain regulation of size. It would have to have the little drawings on it to designate it as a pedestrian lane or a bike lane, which a lot of places in Ocean Pines that doesn't qualify. If you notice, the shoulder is fairly wide, and then in other places it's just wide enough. So a lot of people call the police and they don't want cars parked on the shoulder of the road because they're in the bike lane. Well, under Ocean Pines Association, they ask that you don't, as homeowners, that you don't park on the shoulder of the road. But as an enforcement of Maryland traffic law, that is not a violation of Maryland traffic law. So those cars that are parked there, yes, we may go and ask them, could you pull in your driveway because of emergency equipment and things like that. But as far as law enforcement, that's not a violation of Maryland law under the vehicle code. So therefore, that's not something we can go up and write a ticket for, like you would if you were in one of the public buildings and you're sitting in the fire lane. That's under Maryland law, the same as if you were at the grocery store and you left your car unattended in the parking lane or in the fire zone. That is a violation of Maryland law. So there's a difference between calling the police to come enforce law as calling the police to come enforce a Ocean Pines restrictive covenants. One of the common calls for service that comes in is for loud music or noise complaints. Those are not necessarily violations of criminal law. If somebody's having people on their back porch and you can hear them across the canal because the voices carry, and we'll get a phone call for a noise complaint. It's true. You're supposed to be courteous to your neighbors, and we'll make an appearance there and ask the people, hey, look, it's getting a little late, can you kind of keep it down? The neighbors are trying to sleep. A lot of people think that they're here, especially renters, if we have rental properties, and they're here to vacation for a week, or they're here to party for a week on their back porch. They don't realize the guy next door has to get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning and go to work. So we'll get a call and we'll go there and we'll kindly ask them to kind of take it inside or keep the noise down. But then when we have people call and demanding us to go shut a party down or something like that, there is no ordinance. Ocean Pines doesn't have a noise ordinance. They have a violation of that restrictive covenants, again, which is a CPI issue with the homeowners. But it's not necessarily homeowners that are doing the violation. It may be somebody that's renting their property for the weekend or for the week. We'll go there and make an appearance and try to ask them to keep it down. But as far as going there and just writing them a violation or a citation for that, it's not a violation of criminal law. It's not a violation of Maryland state law. The only ordinance is a county ordinance that says no noise after 11 o'clock that is intrusive or something like that. Can't have people partying and cussing and throwing things and just basically disturbing the neighborhood after 11 o'clock. But that's not a violation of Ocean Pines to write a citation for, where a lot of cities, Ocean City, Salisbury, municipalities like that, they can pass an ordinance that says after 10 o'clock, if you do this, you get a citation for this. We do not enforce that. We do not have that here as a civil violation only. So as far as calls for service, we have 24-hour communications in our office. We have an operator on duty, a dispatcher on duty 24/7. I think one of the things the public needs to realize is when they pick up the phone and they dial 911 and they live in Ocean Pines, that call doesn't come to Ocean Pines. The call goes to the 911 center for the county. The same way as if you're in Berlin and you pick up the phone and you dial 911, it doesn't go to Berlin Police Department. It goes to county communications, and then they, what we call, farm it out, whether it's an ambulance call or a fire call or a police call. We all operate on the same system, so they'll take that information, put it in a card, and it comes up on a screen for our dispatchers. I think a lot of times what people need to realize is number one, we have a phone. We have a telephone with an actual phone number, 410-641-7733. 24/7. That will ring in our office and somebody will pick it up if you're just looking for somebody to talk to. If it's an emergency, by all means, dial 911, because 911 can send police, fire, ambulance all at one time by typing that card in that system. The fire department's going to be notified, EMS is going to be notified, the police department's going to be notified. We've had occasions where people that have actual emergencies in their house and they're trying to find the phone number to the Ocean Pines Police Department or the Ocean Pines Fire Department. No, you dial 911. That's what that's for. They'll get in contact with whoever needs to be dispatched out. You don't have to search for that number. However, we're asking that you don't tie the 911 system up to call because somebody has parked across somebody else's driveway. It's not a 911 call. We're just asking for discretion on when to call the police department as compared to when to call 911. If it's an emergency, by all means, call 911. If it's just a question or something that you want somebody to look into when they have a chance, could you stop by and see me, or they have a question, don't call 911 for that. That really ties up a huge amount of resources. There's operators, there's call takers, there's dispatchers. So we ask just with discretion. If you have a question, call the police department at that number. If you have an emergency, call 911. All the police departments, all the fire departments, all the EMS are all connected together through that same communication system. So we just ask that we don't abuse that system. Some of the common things that we need to discuss as far as the normal behavior in Ocean Pines we have the same crimes, we have the same calls for service as every other police agency. One of the large ones in Ocean Pines is theft from motor vehicles. And people say, my car was broken into, or we had a rash of cars broken into, and that's not necessarily true. We've had cars that have been rummaged through because people have left their vehicles unlocked. We've put out numerous publications, public announcements and stuff to please lock your vehicles, lock your vehicles, lock your vehicles, because a lot of times it's crimes of convenience. Somebody's walking down the road, there's a car, oh look, this is open. They'll take whatever's in the car. It may be 50 cents out of an ashtray. It could be a $500 computer on the back seat. Could be a weapon of some kind. So lock your vehicles, lock your valuables in your vehicle. I would say in the past 5 years, we've probably had one, maybe two vehicles that were actually broken into. And they were probably related to that person. It was a personal thing. Somebody knew what was actually in that car. But just the normal community, the vehicles were not broken into. They were unlocked vehicles that people left in their driveway or parked out along the road, and somebody walking by just opened the door and took whatever was in the vehicle. So safety issue for yourself is lock your vehicle. The next largest one right now, the Maryland State Police have done a huge campaign on talking on cell phones. How many times do you stop at one of the lights or one of the stop signs, and the person that comes by in front of you has one hand to his head with the phone while he's driving with the other hand? It's illegal. It's illegal. It's called distracted driving. You can be cited for that just by seeing it. If one of my officers is sitting at a stop sign and a car rides by and the guy or girl's got a phone to their head, that's a traffic stop. It's a safety issue. We've done a couple initiative things that we try to do with some grant money. We're going to do some things come springtime. Be prepared for it. You're going to see officers. You probably see officers a lot now in the Southgate area. We're going to move some of that to the Northgate area just for an awareness thing, because people come across that Northgate, they've got a phone to their head. Don't be surprised. You're probably going to be flagged over, and we'll go through a period of time of education where we're going to explain to you, an officer there saw you talking on your cell phone while you were driving, what law is being violated, and we'll probably go through a series of bringing it to your attention and giving warnings. That's only going to go on for so long, and you can pretty well be prepared for it, that once it goes in the system that you've been warned for that, the next officer that sees you do that is going to see where you were given a warning for that, and you're probably going to get a citation. Maryland has already discovered that's one of the largest causes of motor vehicle accidents, especially in residential areas where there are bicyclists, people walking, people pushing baby carriages, the whole 9 yards. They see something at the last minute, they react, they hit somebody on the shoulder of the road that was on a bicycle. So distracting driving is huge. It's going to be enforced, not just in Ocean Pines. It's everywhere, but Maryland is making that one of their top priorities this year for traffic enforcement. So we're going to put the initiatives out there. We're going to take this opportunity to use this as a public service. Most cars have Bluetooth accessibilities and are cup holders that you can put your phone in, anything to keep it out of your hands. Just keep your phone out of your hands. It's not necessarily for your safety. It's for the person walking down the shoulder of the road that has no idea that you're even there, and then all of a sudden they're a victim. A few services that the police department try to be involved in. We have a lot of residents that go out of town, or this is their second residence. We have forms. You can do them online. You can do it at the police station. The program is a residential house check program. If you have a neighbor that keeps an eye on your residence while you're gone, you can fill this form out, and the police department actually checks your house while you're out of town, while you're on vacation. Once you fill this out, we actually assign an officer to a sector. So if that officer has 4 or 5 houses in his sector, he will actually physically get out, walk around the house. You can leave emergency contact numbers with people that have a key. If you need to do storm damage or something like that, it gives us somebody to contact, somebody to have some kind of connection with the owner while the owner's not here, not available. This also pertains to medical. Anybody that has extended medical, that they're going to be away from the house. These programs have been here for years, and we're going to continue those. People seem to be taking more advantage of it now. There's a lot of people that have alarm systems on their house. The alarm systems on your house not only protect your house, but your neighbors. So many times we have crimes that have been reported for damage or something like that, and we can go across the street and knock on their door, and they happen to have a camera that points at your driveway. We use that to our advantage, and we would do the same thing for you. If you had a security system on your house, we don't recommend, we're not in the business of recommending a certain kind of alarm system, but any kind of lighting system, motion detector sensor, anything like that, we've been more than glad to come out and see how it operates. We've had people that have actually been in New York and have called us, and my security system shows there's somebody standing on my front porch. Oh, he's trying to open my front window. Bam, we're there. In just a matter of minutes, we're there. We may not have known that was even happening until the people come home 2 weeks later. So alarm systems, your private alarm systems, are great for you, but they're great for the police department too. So we use that to our advantage. We do the home residence checks to our advantage. We provide other services. We get a lot of calls for animal complaints, whether it's a sick animal. We get a lot of people that call because they saw a raccoon out during the daytime, and they automatically figure that raccoon is sick. It must have rabies or something because it's out during the daytime. We have a good relationship with the county animal control system, and they'll send somebody out, or we'll go contain it, or we'll cage it, or whatever we can to make sure that it's not. But the community, I don't want to frighten them because we have had sick animals in here, but you have to realize Ocean Pines was built where the animals were. So they are still going to be here. If you work night patrol, if you come to the police department and work night patrol, you'll see a lot of them. Deer walk out in front of you, fox run across the road in front of you, raccoons and their little families run across the road in front of you. So there's a lot of wildlife here, but just be cautious of it. Don't approach any animal that you think may be sick or acting funny. And the police will come and make a response, and then we'll determine whether animal control needs to come take control of it or not. Same way with animals, with your own animals under control, cleaning up after your own animals. Citations for that can be written by police officers. If your animal is not on a leash and not under control and attacks another animal or another person or somebody riding a bicycle, there's fines for that. That's all under the operations of animal control, but those are Maryland laws, which can also be written under citations and all from police officers, from our officers. If we get called there and your dog was not under control and it bit so-and-so, We write citations for that, so it's your responsibility. If you have an animal in Ocean Pines, it's your responsibility to clean up after it, your responsibility for it to be under your control. Now, it's not a leash law, okay? It says the animal must be under your control. It's not a leash law. Ocean Pines does not have a leash law. However, Ocean Pines offers a dog park and places for you to go for your animals. Other than that, it's your responsibility on your property for your animal to be under your control at all times. And that's huge in Ocean Pines. That pertains to homeowners, visitors, renters, vacationers. We post a lot of lost animals on our Facebook page. We have a current Facebook page because we know there's people that come here on vacation and their dog runs out of the house. It doesn't know where it's at. It doesn't know how to get back. People are out looking for it. We'll post it. And we get a lot of help from the community with that. Oh, we saw that animal on such and such a street. So we do go into the business of reuniting owners and animals. So we try to do the best we can with that. But it does happen here in Ocean Pines also.